Should the Heat be worried?
I think I would put it at a 9. I think
Seriously?
I think
Wow.
they should be very, very worried.
Well, I'm shocked by that.
Well, the reason why I say that is because it's about championships in Miami, and obviously I think that this is a year they could get knocked off. I think the Indiana Pacers have sent a message unapologetically. Yeah. They haven't shied away. They haven't been timid by any stretch of the imagination. They are coming. They're the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They believe they would have been in the NBA Finals had they had home court advantage. Their mission is to make sure that any potential Game 7 is on their home floor. And to be quite honest with you, from what I'm seeing from the rest of the Eastern Conference, I think the Miami Heat are the only team that has a chance to take them 7 games. I think they'll take anybody out in 5 games or less. They are simply this big time. Lance Stevenson is balling. Paul George is an all-star. Oh. Roy Hibbert and David West are the muscle for this team, and they love every bit of it. And Louis Scola and just the list goes on and on. They have just been fantastic. When I'm looking at Miami, the fact that Dwayne Wade is sitting out, I've spoken to officials for the Miami Heat over the last several months, and they say, look, it's the regular season. We understand what we're playing for. We're not going to push it. We're not going to compromise D. Wade by any stretch. The problem is that LeBron James is approaching free agency, and it is not beyond the pale that LeBron James could look at Dwayne Wade, could see what he's going through on a day-in, day-out basis, and say, all right, this is our final ride. This is our last run together, because he would not be in Miami if it were not for D. Wade. You come there, you help capture 2, maybe 3 championships. You call it a career in South Beach. Who knows? Because, again, I wouldn't leave South Beach. I wouldn't leave Pat Riley and Mickey Harrison. I wouldn't leave the Miami Heat organization. But I'm not LeBron James. And so you don't know what he's going to do. But you do know that D. Wade is going to play a big role in whether or not he decides to stay. D. Wade has acknowledged as much by saying LeBron will influence what he decides to do. So it's not just about this season. It's not just about basketball as it pertains to the 2013-24 season. It is about the future of the Miami Heat. D. Wade's knees may end up having more influence than any of us ever imagined.
Okay. I wrote down 6, and I thought I was going high. I thought you'd tell me, oh, come on, you're overreacting. But I do love your point about the Indiana Pacers. You have driven home this point since last year. The Pacers, to me, are like the Seattle Seahawks of the NBA now. That team that finally came of age.
Interesting.
That team that is loaded with not just talent, but is starting to believe it's talent, which we saw the Seahawks finally do this year. They said, hey, we're too good now. We're better than that team down south of us in San Francisco. And they proved it. And Indiana's going to have a chance to prove it with home court advantage, we think, in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, we think it's going to be against Miami. The way they're going right now, you start to wonder, are they going to be threatened by anybody? I don't think so. But I agree with you. Dwayne Wade has a bad knee that is getting worse. He missed 2 straight games, and maybe with the help of the great Tim Grover, he can get this home to the playoffs, because obviously that's all they're trying to do is just get to the playoffs with the 2nd seed, which can anybody threaten them for the 2nd seed? I don't think so. I mean, stranger things have happened.
Not in the East, no.
But I saw a team, and I did watch the game yesterday at Atlanta. That team is just out of psychological gas, especially playing defense. They didn't defend at all. It was kind of an eyesore. It was kind of hard to watch. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks, without Al Horford, put up 121 on the Miami Heat, known for its signature defense. But to me, it's D. Wade or bust. If they don't have him for whatever reason, and I'm starting to fear he's going to need a surgery of some point, some kind, yet I'm not sure. You go in there so many times, and all of a sudden it just gets degenerative, and you can't really fix it because you're bone on bone now. You've lost all your cartilage. I'm not so sure that he's down to bone on bone now, where it's just a matter of how much can you get out of him? Can you get a 6 or 7 game series out of him? I don't know.
Well, you got to remember, you're wearing the thigh pads, you're wearing the knee pads, you're wearing the hips. You've got issues not just with your knees, but with your hip and your back. Okay, now D. Wade works through it. He finds a way to get better. I believe once the playoffs come, he will arrive. What I love about Indiana is that they're coming, and they want Miami. These guys want to play Miami just as badly as they want to win a championship. I'm willing to go as far as to say that I believe even if they won the championship, it wouldn't be as sweet if they ended up bypassing Miami. In other words, they didn't play them. They want Miami. And you know, you got teams that are willing to compete against anybody. But it's something else, and you've been around the game, you've covered it long enough, Skip, to realize what I'm saying. When you've got that kind of team that's saying, I want you. When Isaiah Thomas is getting off the bus in Chicago saying to Jordan, y'all wanted us, here we are, even though it worked out well for Jordan. I'm willing to go as far as to say this. I understand you're talking about D-Wade. I'm so impressed with what I'm seeing from Indiana. And more importantly, psychologically, what they want in Miami. They want Miami so bad. And the Lance Stevenson, boy, this Brooklyn, New York, this boy is just balling. I got to tell you, you bring up D-Wade, and I'm not knocking that D-Wade is needed. I know this. But I'm willing to go as far as to say right here in the month of January, that in order for Miami to beat a healthy Indiana Pacers team, injuries, all bets off, but a healthy Indiana Pacers team come playoff time, LeBron James will have to be Jordan-esque.
I remind you,
oh boy,
Indiana has a Paul George, who can guard
I'm just telling you,
LeBron
I'm telling
James,
you what's
right?
going to be required. I don't think anybody can guard LeBron when he's on his A game. It will take his A game to beat Indiana. Nothing less will suffice.
Last quick point. Indiana now 11-2 against the Western Conference. And I watched the game last night at Golden State. They just took them apart.